For years, the AI race looked like a contest between companies. Now it is becoming a contest between governments, alliances, computing systems, and rival ideas about who should control the most powerful technology of the century. Reuters reported on the 21st of July that the United States and China are planning formal artificial intelligence talks for September. The dates and details have not been finalized, so this is a reported diplomatic plan, not a completed agreement. The reason for the meeting is bigger than trade. Both governments are increasingly worried that frontier models could strengthen military systems, automate cyber attacks, expose critical infrastructure, and disrupt labor markets faster than policy can respond. If the talks proceed, they would create a formal channel for two rivals that increasingly distrust each other's models, chip supply chains, and security intentions. Dialogue does not remove competition, but it can make dangerous misunderstandings less likely. But the planned meeting is only one part of a much larger shift. The United States and China are each building systems designed to secure technology, attract partners, and shape the rules that other countries may eventually follow. The American approach is explicit about strategic advantage. A June White House memorandum directs the national security enterprise to adopt advanced commercial and open-source AI, secure access to computing, and preserve control over systems used for high-consequence missions. That policy is not only about clever software. It calls for resilient supply chains, high-security computing facilities, model testing, and partnerships with private companies to defend advanced systems against theft, manipulation, and malicious distillation. China is offering a different public story. At the World Artificial Intelligence Conference in Shanghai, President Xi Jinping called for AI to be developed for shared prosperity, common security, and broader access, especially across the global south. The conference produced a new institution, the World Artificial Intelligence Cooperation Organization, or WACO. 29 countries signed the founding agreement, and the organization will be headquartered in Shanghai. WACO is significant, but it is not a global government for artificial intelligence. It is a newly created intergovernmental organization led from Shanghai, open to cooperation, and designed to advance China's preferred model of AI development and governance. China's offer includes open-source development, training programs, and application centers with regional organizations. She also pledged thousands of AI training opportunities for developing countries over the next 5 years. For countries priced out of frontier computing, that offer can be attractive. Access to models, skills, and infrastructure may support local languages, public services, weather systems, agriculture, and industrial development that would otherwise remain out of reach. It is also diplomacy. Training engineers, supplying models, and helping build data systems can create long-term technical dependence, trusted relationships, and influence over which standards, platforms, and governance ideas become normal. Open-source AI sits at the center of this argument. Open models can lower barriers, support local adaptation, and reduce dependence on a few Western companies. They can also spread powerful capabilities faster and make coordinated safeguards harder to enforce. The real currency of this competition is not only software. It is advanced chips, electricity, cooling systems, skilled engineers, secure data centers, and the ability to operate enormous models reliably at national scale. American export controls have tried to limit China's access to the most advanced computing components. China is responding by investing in domestic chips, large computing clusters, and systems designed to operate with less dependence on American technology. Standards may matter just as much as chips. The rules for model testing, data provenance, security reporting, content labeling, and system access can determine which companies are trusted and which products can cross borders. Model security is another fault line. Governments worry about theft, unauthorized copying, and techniques that extract capabilities from protected systems. A frontier model can be both a commercial asset and a strategic capability. Military use raises the stakes further. AI can support intelligence analysis, logistics, cyber defense, and decision support. That does not mean autonomous machines are about to control every battlefield, but it does make reliability and human accountability critical. Cyber risk may be more immediate. Powerful models can help defenders find vulnerabilities and respond faster. The same capabilities can lower the cost of reconnaissance, fraud, and attacks against organizations that are already struggling to secure old systems. Economic disruption is also on the agenda. Governments may disagree about regulation, but both understand that AI could reshape employment, productivity, and industrial competitiveness. The political pressure will grow if the gains and losses are distributed unevenly. This is where guardrails matter. Even rivals can agree on communication channels, incident reporting, or basic rules for securing the most capable models. These measures are less dramatic than a treaty, but they can reduce the risk of escalation. Verification is the hard part. A country can promise to secure a model or limit a dangerous use, but advanced systems are developed inside private laboratories, classified networks, and rapidly changing software stacks that outsiders cannot easily inspect. The comparison with nuclear arms is tempting but incomplete. AI models are software. They can be copied, modified, and distributed across borders far faster than physical weapons, while the computers that run them are also used for ordinary commercial work. There is still no single global rulebook. The United Nations, national governments, regional regulators, technical standards bodies, and new organizations like Waco are all trying to shape different parts of the system. That fragmentation can create room for experimentation, but it also lets companies and governments choose the rules that suit them. Competing institutions may cooperate, overlap, or become instruments of rival political blocs. Smaller countries may gain leverage from this competition. They can compare offers, demand training, negotiate data protections, and avoid relying on a single supplier. But the choices will rarely be free of long-term dependence. Dependence can arrive through cloud contracts, model updates, chip maintenance, training data, identity systems, and security support. Once public services are built around one ecosystem, switching becomes expensive and politically difficult. For companies, the split means more compliance, export restrictions, and security reviews. A model approved in one market may be restricted in another, while access to chips or cloud capacity could depend on national policy. For developers, the consequences may appear as different model access, safety requirements, app stores, cloud regions, and technical standards. Building once for the whole world could become harder as ecosystems diverge. For ordinary users, the divide may be less visible. It could shape which assistant is available, where personal data is processed, what content rules apply, and whether a device works when traveling across borders. The best realistic outcome is managed competition. Rivals continue racing, but maintain communication, secure the most dangerous capabilities, and preserve enough technical compatibility for science, trade, and public safety to continue. The darker outcome is a fragmented AI world, incompatible standards, restricted chips, duplicated infrastructure, and models designed primarily to serve rival political and security systems. That would be expensive, less open, and harder to govern. Even limited talks can matter because the alternatives are silence and assumption. A shared vocabulary for incidents, model security, and high-risk use could create a small amount of predictability in a race that currently has very little. The next signals to watch are whether the September meeting is formally confirmed, what technical issues enter the agenda, which countries join Waco, and whether either side accepts rules that constrain its own most powerful systems. The AI Cold War is not a declared conflict, and cooperation has not disappeared. But governments are now treating models, chips, standards, and access as instruments of power. The race is no longer only about who builds the best AI. It is about whose system the world chooses to join.